match. It is Neil Foles and first up, Philip Studd.
John, would you like to
An
call?
authentic snooker great
Huh?
enters the fray here on the opening day of the Welsh Open, the final event of this 8th year of the home nations. But of course this tournament, one of the oldest on the calendar, dating all the way back to 1992, the year that Williams, of course, turned professional. And here he is, well over 30 years later, still playing at the top of the game, 4th on the one-year list. John Astley standing in his way in this first round match here in Llandudno. Best of 7, of course, first of 4 to go through. The winner to play Sanderson Lamb in round 2. And Williams looking, Neil, to recapture that early season form when he played so well to win the British Open.
Yes, he's been, I think, playing well enough, practicing wise and putting in the work. And he'd be fancied to beat John Astley today on not only what they've achieved in their respective careers, but John Astley's form this season has not been that great. You know, he's a better player than some of his results this season.
Williams was outstanding in winning that British Open. He beat Mark Selby in the final, and of course winning a big event like that so early in the season takes all the pressure off. You get the points in the bank. It's only their 3rd meeting. Most recently, 2019 International Championship. Goodness me, a lot of water under the bridge since then, pre-COVID days. 6-5 that was to Williams, so Astley proved that day that he can mix it with the best. He's beaten Neil Robertson at the UK Championship in the past, so he's a very capable player. But as has been mentioned, his form this season has been poor. He's only won 1 match aside from the Championship League. That's a nice red. So having got back on the tour via Q-School at the beginning of last season, his tour position is in serious jeopardy again when we come round to the end of this one.
Yes, I think he's one of those players that might always be on the sort of the borders of falling off the tour. But you mentioned that match in the UK Championship where he beat Neil Robertson 2021. And I think in a way, you know, that was actually the start of Neil's problems, because I know he just won today and we're not trying to bring that victory down at all, but often in the UK Championships he hasn't performed. And John Astley played particularly well in that match. I don't think Neil was feeling at his best, but even if he had been, he might have struggled to win it. So he is capable. But as you say, not winning any matches. He won a match in the International Championship, beating Jamie Clark, lost to Ali Carter narrowly. So he's been close in a few, lost fairly narrowly to Mark Allen, but unfortunately when the defeats mount up, you don't know where to go with anything. You keep practicing, keep coming back for more. But maybe today we'll see him play better, which would be nice to see.
Getting just that first win in an event so important, because of course if you don't win a match you don't get any prize money at all, and that's been the problem for Astley this season. And he's taken his eye off the blue and thinking about splitting the reds. That could be very costly.
Astley 4.
Yeah, I mean, you might not get on the red if you split them, but you can't miss the blue. That is what all control that you might have held is completely out the window. He's just gifted a chance here
1
to the Welsh potting machine. As I say, I was speaking with Stephen Hendry at one of the recent events, might have been the World Grand Prix, and he was saying how well that Mark had been practicing. He'd been watching him practice. He said he hadn't seen him miss a ball for about an hour. So the form is there, and of course Hendry doesn't give away compliments. So it's just a question of transferring that onto the match table.
Incredibly, Williams, the only Welshman ever to win this tournament. But you have to go back to 1999 for the last time that he lifted the trophy, and that was a great final against the aforementioned Hendry, which he won in a decider. Won it for the first time
7.
3 years previously to that, when he beat John Parrott 9-3, and that was his first ever ranking title. So very happy memories of his home tournament for Williams, but he'd love to make it a hat-trick this year. Made the semi-finals a couple of years ago.
I think the problem here is that potting the red is one thing, but of course with the black not available to the left corner, you have to do more with the cue ball to get onto a colour from the red. And of course the red is not easy on top of that, so decides to walk away. Be annoyed not to have made much from what was a, let's just be honest, a good chance there.
Mark Williams,
He
7.
came to the table with that gift, he hasn't taken it. It's all about negotiating these early rounds here in venue Cymru in Llandudno, a venue that has seen a lot of snooker played in the last decade, just over. Not only the Welsh Open, the World Grand Prix, other big events have been played here with always a very good fan base inside the venue. Caught that a little bit thin, that red. So he hasn't quite settled in yet.
One.
A really good pot, but he didn't quite have enough backspin on the cue ball to hold for the black. I think he's gone a bit below the line of the black with the red seemingly in the way. That side angle gives you a perfect view of that. So now a blue with the pot not simple and sort of moving away from the reds. Only the red close to the left corner would be in his eye line. Decent shot. Dragged it in to hold for the red, the thin red.
6.
Provisionally 78th on the end of season ranking list, Astley, so clearly quite a bit of work to do if he is to maintain his tour position, having got back on at the beginning of last season by beating Michael Holt, former shootout champ, of course, in the Q School. Never been higher than 65. Did make a ranking quarter-final back in 2016, the Riga Masters.
Yeah, I mean, you've always got that shot at the World Championships, and having an extended run there can completely turn anybody's season around. But he would probably need something like that to happen, should he not win today. Played a couple of good shots here to initiate something.
12.
At the moment, he's just a little bit further away from the next pot than he would like. Just about every shot in this small break.
13.
Oh, that's a
Quite
beautiful
a
shot.
possible place.
John Palou officiating in this match, trying to keep the crowd quiet when other matches are taking place. The Sean Murphy-Barry Pinches match on the right has just gone to 3-3 there, so that's an interesting game of snooker.
$18. 19.
Among the winners in the first session on this opening day this morning, defending champion Rob Milkins. Quite a scrappy affair with Jamie Jones, who actually outscored Milkins, but Milkins came through in a decider after his famous victory over Sean Murphy in the final last season. That not only won him this tournament, of course, it also bagged him that £150,000 European Series bonus, which has already been snaffled by Judd Trump with the tournament to spare.
26.
Of course, Trump not here this week. Ding Junhui, Jack Lazowski and Zhang Anda were all winners in the morning session as well.
Well, he's given himself a nice opening here. So he's been quite
27.
persistent with this break. It looked like it mightn't have amounted to anything, but now look at him. He's absolutely in around the black spot. A little shake of the head. He's not pleased necessarily with the angle he has on the black, but it remains a good chance to take an early frame, and he really would need it in a match where he's second favourite for sure to win. Bit of head shaking. I think the angle on the black is not ideal, but it's hardly a major problem. Surely he could land on something. I mean, even could he just hold for the red, the other side of the black into the left corner? Didn't really want to be on this red that way because, of course, the black is not available to both corners. Pretty sure.
34.
So he's found a slight bump in the road here already. Nicely done.
35.
Nicely done. Essential, I think, for his chances that he gets this frame one at this visit and puts down a marker that he's playing okay, despite his recent results. And these are short matches, best of 7. We know this Home Nation series has been going 8 years now.
42.
You have to start well. He's all set up for the top
43.
players in this round 1. Matches held over. They're on the match table playing lower ranked players, all set up for the top players. Doesn't mean they'll all win.
$50.
The cue ball has just run and run, and almost on those shots, if you overhit, it's like they're drawn to the cushions, like they're a magnet. Now this is not easy because the natural potting angle at speed is quite close to and off into the left corner. So is he going to have to drop it in or take the risk that he does go in off? Well, he's found a way and he avoided the in-off. Well done. Good shot. Good composure there.
56.
Not least as he'd missed a blue earlier in the frame and going into the reds. There was certainly pressure on that one, knowing
57.
that there were still enough points there for Williams to pinch the frame had he missed it, but as it is, Williams now needs a snooker. 54 the difference.
Made sure of that red, didn't he? Didn't really play on the black. And now, of course, he probably wishes he had done, because it is one snooker, but with this black going in, it would be probably in the frame. Williams is absolutely
57.
obliged to carry on here, because where the balls are, it's not impossible that he could still get the snooker and take the frame.
One.
I mean, you can see a shot here where he could pop red-black and then finish low on the red and get the snooker behind the pink. And all of a sudden, if it makes it a nasty snooker, then
9.
the frame is almost brought back to life. So in behind the pink, and it'll be of interest as to where the red
16.
finishes as well. If you can get it close to a colour, it could be a horrid snooker to be in. The problem here for Mark is that the natural snookering angle takes the red close to the right middle. Hit the bump and not actually get the snooker. Kind of was the problem, wasn't it, as we see, but
16.
he might still have made things difficult.
Okay, thank you, John.
Yeah, I mean, he is snookered. It's 2 cushions, probably. If he plays 1 cushion, of course, the free ball, everything comes into the equation. And, of course, he would be able to win anyway with a red and black, with a 4-point penalty. So no fun this shot, playing around 2. Very nice. Could be in another one. Should be in another one, in fact. Taking the red down towards the pink. This is pretty unsavoury, this snooker. I can tell you that, because got to go across to the left of the table. And as he swerves, big swerve into the first cushion. Not nice. And of course Williams is doing everything he can to lay as nasty a snooker as he can possibly achieve.
Comfortable moments here for Astley, who made that nice break of 57, but really could have done with the black going in to absolutely make sure of the frame. This would be a very hurtful one to lose.
I'll just go back to the point where he potted what he thought was frame ball red, but put the black on the side cushion. Put the cue ball on the side cushion for the black. He almost wanted the red in so much he gave up on position. Now it's brought about this problem. This is not fun. A terrific shot, but he's going to be in another one, I'm afraid. That's the bad news. Behind the pink. Red, somewhere in behind yellow and, or green and brown, rather. Well, his playing out of snookers has been superb. And that might be the worst place to finish. I mean, the table is absolutely set up for getting snookers. I always say it, you know, it's a good chance for them, but you haven't got one there, but the table is absolutely laid on. John Astley needs to pot the thread as soon as possible and be done with it.
Yeah, well played, John Astley. That could have become
One.
very tricky for him, but he did negotiate those awkward snookers very successfully, and the red has surely killed the frame off now. 39 the difference, so Williams needs 3 to tie.
Go on. John Astley won. And the frame.
Mark Williams has conceded, so that's a good opening frame for the big underdog here in Llandudno. A must-win, really. Having made the break of 57, he negotiated those awkward snooker escapes to lead 1-0.
Snooker on Eurosport is sponsored by Ambassador, the premium value cruise line.
Thank you. Second frame. Mark Williams to break.
A good start from John Astley against the Welsh legend Mark Williams, the 2 times Welsh Open champion, the only Welshman to win this tournament. But 1-0 down, break of 57 from John Astley, and Williams certainly asked the question at the end of that frame. Laid a couple of fiendish-looking snookers, but Astley was equal to them, so he leads 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, he never looked like missing those snookers, and they were difficult. Hit them all pretty big contact with the red each time. So you have to make them more difficult. I think he gave up when it got to the point of 3 required. Good start, this.
As we've discussed, the importance of winning first-round matches in this day and age is amplified by the fact that you get nothing if you do lose in the opening round. And Mark Williams, well, he's been a past master down the years at getting through his first round. Alan McManus mentioned he's barely lost a first-round match this season. And of course, he put together that extraordinary 48-match winning run in first rounds, didn't he, over 5.5 years between February 1998 and November 2003.
Takes some doing, doesn't it, to keep winning those first rounds. Some weeks you might not be feeling up for playing or a bit struggling, but just keep getting through. And at that time, the way the rankings were framed, that would hold you in very good stead, getting that first match won. It's a bit like it now, but I think most of the ranking events are very top-heavy, so whoever wins them gets the bulk of the points.
$16. 17.
Williams has discussed his remaining career ambitions, and of course he's won everything that matters multiple times. But he has talked about wanting to be inside the top 16. When he turns 50, he'll be celebrating his 49th birthday next month. And he's looking very much on course
24.
to achieve that ambition. As mentioned, 4th on the one-year list this season. His official ranking is 8th. And he's still playing such a high level. He's already made 31 centuries this season. That's only one shy of last season's entire tally. Excellent crowd in on this opening day.
It does seem hard to believe, doesn't it, that
25.
the class of 92, Williams, O'Sullivan, Higgins could all be passing the age of 50 and still be in the top 16. It just feels like a very big birthday in snookering terms, isn't it, 50? But the likelihood is that, well, some of them will be in there. Whether all three are, that would be an amazing achievement.
He was the oldest player to make a maximum break, Williams, until as recently as last week, when John Higgins eclipsed him in that regard in his terrific burst of
31.
scoring form in that short format.
$32.
Higgins made 17 centuries in 6 days, including his 13th career maximum.
So the blue that follows this red into the bunch will be the key shot of the
37.
frame.
38.
Of course, there's always a chance a red might drop into a pocket, which you do everything you can to avoid. Yes, he didn't hit that very hard, actually. It's very good result. That
43.
cue ball and red chasing each other down to that left corner as we look from the overhead.
44.
Gets on with it as well, doesn't he? Doesn't waste time looking at things for too long. Not really his style.
Coolness personified, isn't he, Williams? He always has been. One of his major attributes is the way he walks around the table, floats the balls in, never looks as though he's got a care in the world, even though, of course, he does care a lot. He's a fierce competitor, but he doesn't lose too much sleep about defeats, as he's told us many times in our features on Discovery Plus. And under pressure, when big titles are at stake, well, there are a few better than Williams, as he proved in the ultimate fashion, really, against John Higgins
51.
in that wonderful world final back in 2018, when he made that superb break to clinch the match when Higgins was threatening to overturn him.
52. $57. $58.
Looking awfully like 1-1, isn't it, here? Not quite there yet. 75 still on. So another red and colour, or should be enough for Williams to level up this match.
65. $66.
He's not happy. He knew straight away down to hit. So I think just ensuring that he pots this, taking the cue ball round, but he's not really gone anywhere, the cue ball.
Well, as you can see, his opponent needs a
71.
snooker to tie, so not a dissimilar scenario to the previous frame, but you could see Williams.
72.
Oh, he's knocked a red in. He walked back to his chair, and the red disappeared into the right centre. Well, that surely killed the frame off with only 59 left.
Mark Williams, 72, and the frame.
And John Astley concedes the frame. So Mark Williams responds in typically calm fashion to losing the opening frame with a break of 72, and we're level at 1 each. A packed house for the opening day here in Llandudno, North Wales. Mark Williams, 2 times Welsh Open champion, equalising courtesy of that break of 72 after a 57 from John Astley in the opener. So 1 each, first of 4 to go through to play Sanderson Lamb in round 2.
Sometimes miss those on the thin potting angle. It kind of helps the cue ball end up back to the bulk end. It's almost like you don't always see players necessarily go for that shot because the natural potting angle probably took him into the red and the black.
Foul.
Oh dear.
And a miss.
That's
7.
not as planned.
John Astley.
Red on the black spot will be the one that Astley likes here. Won't be having it put back. Certainly John Pellew, the referee, doesn't want to see that. To replace about 3 or 4 balls, so he'd be taking the red on the black spot.
One.
Played it well, of course, with the brown away from his spot. The up and down from blue is not a difficult shot by any means to get down for a red. Brown is not in the way of anything where it's placed.
Six.
Mindful of that red, very, very close to it.
I think sometimes the camera angle makes you think he's on the red, but he's actually just behind the line of it, isn't he? So you have to keep an eye on those things.
7.
Of course, it would be a foul, obviously. If you touch it, it doesn't have to move. If your item of clothing is on the ball, it's just a foul. That's a very good split. That really is. Cue ball has stayed smack in the centre of the table. So what's the
12.
cue ball path of it? That's when you know a good shot has been played.
Thirteen.
Well, as in frame one, he's got to take advantage of this opportunity. He made a break of 57 to win frame one, with a not dissimilar chance to this one.
He's potted quite a few good balls already this afternoon. Even the initial red
19.
after Williams' foul at the start of this frame was not a gimme. There's a bit of pressure on it. He was cueing quite close to the side cushion, but he negotiated it well. And given he's had so few results to call upon this season,
20.
another brutal draw here. So far, he's playing well.
Yes, and I think sometimes playing a match like this on the show table rather than on
25.
an outside table against somebody not similar ranking to yourself, it's a different story. Players can sometimes rise to the occasion.
$26.
Over on table two, Sean Murphy still looking for one more pot to clinch victory over Barry Pinchers. There is Murphy at the table. It's 35 left. 32 is lead. It's on Discovery
31.
Plus.
Good job.
It's not an ideal kiss, but you
32.
might fancy this black where he's nudged it to.
$39.
Just slightly out of position all the way through again. It's just chasing the break again, as we've seen. Doesn't mean he won't recover the situation.
John Astley,
Yeah, there was nothing
39.
there, was there? It turned out that he could putt, and he hasn't played a particularly good shot either, leaving a tempter to the right middle.
1. Six.
Nice pot, taking the cue ball away from the action.
Ten. 11.
So an opportunity for Williams to get right back in this frame. There's a lot to do to win it from here. Clearly there's an awkward red up the table, but that's for later.
Yeah, but I think he'll fancy the job from here at the table. The points behind don't always mean a great deal if you can take advantage of what's ahead of you. This level, of course, a 50-point lead, or in this case, 46. It's not a big lead.
Barry Pinches has just had a golden opportunity to steal victory over Sean Murphy and the decider on table 2. Only to miss a relatively straightforward yellow, and now he needs a snooker.
$26.
Williams overcuts the red.
Mark Williams, 26.
Yeah, it was a hard-earned break, which he, again, a bit like Astley earlier in the frame, didn't ever quite get control of the table. Probably should have done better than that with the rest. Really threatened the pocket. That's thrown things quite open now. John Astley's in a spot of bother here. think Astley keen to keep as many reds close to cushions as he can. He's got a handy lead, but not a huge lead. Well, that's the mistake that Astley was really looking for. Now a chance to add to his early frame. But of course, with the 2 safe reds, he's going to need some of those himself. It seems to me that he can't take 3 red blacks here. That way, of course, he wouldn't need the 2 left-hand reds, but he will do, given he's playing on a lower value colour.
Three. Four.
High drama at the end of the match on table 2, with Barry Pinches able to lay an excellent snooker, which Sean Murphy has failed to escape from. So with blue, pink and black left, that match is live again. It's on Discovery Plus as John Astley looks to clinch this frame for a 2-1 lead. 30 in front now, 51 left. So he's going to need one of the more awkward reds up the table.
Yes, he's got a bit more to do, hasn't he? Just to get this frame one all right.
11.
Well, I mean, he's going to hit the target, isn't he? If he wants to play to move the 2 reds, the target is virtually unmissable. Whether he pushes one over a pocket or gets one of the reds in play, of course, different story. Could play on the loose one. It's a big target, almost hard to resist. Oh, what a shot that is. I mean, you couldn't see a shot played any better than that,
Yes.
quite frankly. And now, a red is all he needs.
Wonderful cannon. Couldn't have worked out any better. This is the kind of frame ball you want. An unmissable one. To put him 44 in front with only 35 left.
Okay.
So it's been more bits and pieces this frame, but Astley's continuing to compete very well. Be a huge win for him. But he has got previous against top
22.
players. He once scored a victory over former world champion Ken Doherty at the UK Championship back in 2013. We mentioned his more recent win over Neil Robertson in that event.
John
I think like
Astley,
most players
22.
who are on the tour, they can play well enough on any given day to beat just about anyone else. There might be 1 or 2 down the bottom part of the calendar you wouldn't really fancy down the bottom of the rankings to sort of get the results, but most of them can do it. A lot of interest in that match on the other table, isn't there? Even Mark Williams has now decided to look across the conclusion of the Murphy match with Pinches.
Yeah, Pinches, remember, needed a snooker, got it. And so could, yeah, cause a shock on this opening day here in Llandudno. 3 balls remaining. Williams also requiring snookers now. roar will tell you that we've reached the climax on table 2. What a match it's been. Remember Barry Pinches, a late replacement for David Grace, who had to withdraw for personal reasons. Murphy looked for all the world as though he was going to win that decider. And it's Barry Pinches who has pinched it.
It's a major shock, isn't it? I mean, there's no getting away from that. A major shock. Nothing against
Quite as
Pinches.
possible, please.
But as you say, he wasn't even in the tournament about 4 days ago. Murphy's season has unravelled in a big way, actually.
And that loss will really sting, because Murphy should certainly have killed that deciding frame off. As mentioned, Pinches needed a snooker. He laid a horrible one, but in truth, Murphy should have clinched victory before then. So last year's finalist is out on the first afternoon. Meanwhile, this frame is definitely over. Mark Williams has conceded, and John Astley retakes the lead here. So we could be in for another surprise on this first day at the Welsh Open. Sean Murphy's gone. Mark Williams trails John Astley 2-1.
Snooker on Eurosport is sponsored by Ambassador, the premium value cruise line.
Already a fascinating opening day here in this final leg of the 2023-24 Home Nation Series, the Welsh Open, with Sean Murphy, last year's runner-up, former champion in this tournament, beaten in dramatic fashion on the final black after his opponent, a late replacement for David Grace. Barry Pinches had needed a snooker. And we've also got another upset in the making with a really good start from John Astley, who's only won one match this season, aside from the Championship League, but leads 2 times Welsh Open champion Mark Williams 2-1.
Yeah, and I think he's good for the lead. I don't think you could say that he's flattered by it. He's played the better snooker, but clearly Mark Williams at 2-1 down is a long way from being out of this match. But you've got a bit of thinking to do, because, you know, you glance down at John Astley's results, and as you say, he's not had any, basically, of a positive nature. And you think, well, I should win this match, but it doesn't quite work like that. Good players can hit a bit of form, and for now, at 2-1 up, it's a very fair result. Mark Williams must play better from here.
Fourth frame, Mark Williams to break.
Frame 4 of a possible 7. Williams once again playing catch-up. 2-1 down. Made a break of 72 to level at 1 each. And Astley in control of the third, and finished it off nicely with that excellent cannon to release the red he needed to leave Williams requiring snookers, which he couldn't get. Winner to play Sanderson Lamb, who beat Baipat Siripapon in qualifying, which happened in Barnsley back in January. Of course, the top 16 players are seeded through to the venue. This is a first round match.
I don't think Mark Williams will be panicking at this stage. You just realise that the match is tougher than maybe he expected, or maybe would never take anything lightly. I think he just knows that a best of 7 against another player on the tour that is capable of results is never an easy match. But at 2-1 up, Astley's still got a lot to do. He's got to find a way of keeping this form going. It would be a big shock. Okay, we've already had a major shock earlier with Barry Pinches winning against Sean Murphy. That was a coupon buster, quite honestly. Anyway, that's going to go back.
Lewis, 6. Mark Williams. Put it back. Up there, Jack. Yeah, you could get through to that. You happy there, John? Could get through to that right there. Little bit off more, do you? Mark, are you happy with that? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
He's a very nice man, isn't he, John Palou? He's the kind of man who I think if he told you that you had to concede a frame or something under the 3 strikes rule, you'd take it in good grace, wouldn't you? There's something kindly about him and about his way. There's John again, just getting along the line of the shot. You can get to the red, as you can see that right-hand red, to get a thin edge of it. Chip the red somewhat close to the corner pocket if he doesn't hit another red on the way through. This is not bad. This is close to being behind the yellow, actually. Not played, but he'll take it.
It's a long way short.
And a miss. 4. John Astley.
As part of a foot. Next up on table 2 after that marathon
John.
between Murphy and Pinches, which Pinches pinched on the black. Mark Allen against Chow Yu Peng.
I remember that match at the Crucible they played, which Mark Allen potted a black, didn't he, to get the crowd pumped up. He's on the comeback trail, and the cue ball went all the way around the table into the yellow pocket, and that was match over. It was kind of awkward, wasn't it? That little sequence of events.
Yeah, Chow has been involved in some memorable matches, that being one, of course another being the final of the Scottish Open in the first season of the Home Nations back in 2016 when he was 4 up with 5 to play in the final against Neil Robertson and lost. Missed the black by a whisker for the title.
Yes, of course, they also played in the shootout final this season, which, of course, Mark Allen broke the trend a little bit by not being an outsider winning. He's actually the #1 seed, and he won it, which everyone thought you had to be an outsider to win that, but he broke that outcome. So I think Yu Peng is a good player. I mean, again, I don't know if it's going to be one of these weeks where we're going to get shocks. There's no O'Sullivan, there's no Trump from the outset. And we've lost Sean Murphy. Williams in a spot of bother here. Who knows what's going to happen in the Welsh? 3 years in a row we've had unlikely winners. So tournament is seemingly changing from the traditional days of all the big heavyweights winning it.
John Higgins is the most successful in the history of this event. 5 wins. O'Sullivan himself has won it 4 times.
I always think that you associate Paul Hunter with the Masters because he had a lot of success in the Welsh Open as well when it was played down in Newport. Late Paul Hunter, much missed.
Yeah, won it a couple of times and also became the youngest ever ranking semi-finalist 1 year in this event.
Well, at the moment, John Astley is kind of holding his own in this almost dead bat safety, where you're not trying to do a lot. You're just trying to keep your opponent out. He has left a red to middle, but it's a missable shot if he plays it. This one he could play as well. Again, it's also missable. I wonder if he could play it to get some cover behind the other reds if he did miss it. Ah, terrific shot that. That really was a good shot.
Six. Seven.
Well, that's not bad. Around a couple of cushions on this red and pink available.
11.
Could play up for the blue if he wanted to.
Twelve. Eighteen.
What a place to finish. What a place to finish. You could play that shot a few times. You wouldn't hang right up to the red that often. But that's the reason the break
Mark
went nowhere.
Williams, 18.
I wonder if John Astley is thinking, well, if a few little nudges have gone my way, or more accurately have gone against Mark. He's got a thin red here and he's got to get out of there onto a colour. Got to avoid hitting a red on the way back, which he can't do. There's not necessarily a rub that's gone in favour of John Astley. Not if he knocks the pink in or the blue. It's not exactly plain sailing for Williams, this match, is it? It's turning out. Good shot. Very good at those shots. Just where you're just trying to find an angle and you're potting it dead weight. Very good at those shots, Williams.
Lost in the second round last season, Williams, to Jack Jones, having beaten Michael White in the first. Mentioned that his best run since it's been a Home Nations event was at the semi-finals, 2021, when he was heavily beaten by Ronnie. That British Open triumph at the start of this season, his 25th ranking title. He's now 6th on the all-time list. Judd Trump has eclipsed him this season by winning 4 ranking events, including, of course, the German Masters just over a week ago.
13.
That's almost a mirror image of the shot on the pink earlier.
14.
Not happy where the cue ball has run, but it's okay, I think. He's not on the cushion. He's not got to do a whole lot with the cue ball here. Don't expect Mark to have a problem with a shot like that or position.
19. 20.
You could see Williams' irritation there because he knew he'd left himself with awkward cueing on this pink. Makes the shot so much trickier. Well negotiated, though.
Well, he's just rolling balls in, isn't he? You know, not
26.
hitting them any harder than he needs to. I think you'll have to play this with a little bit of pace. But generally speaking, he's doing what he's always done, just
27.
dropping balls into pockets, trying to keep a break going. Well, he hasn't dropped that one into the pocket.
Mark Williams, 27.
To his horror, I think he feels it might have gone up slightly rather than down. See it again here, because this, it always looked high, but it didn't make any action to sort of drop down with the nap, so he's surprised. If ever there was a possible moment in a match, this is it though, isn't it? I mean, if you could take this frame from 46 behind and get 3-1 up, that could be a seismic shift really in chances of a shock.
Sen. Eight.
And again, and this time it's Astley who
John
sees
Astley,
the pink
8.
go to the jaw.
Yeah, and of course, I think we knew in running this was going to be missing top jaw, because as you saw, Mark Williams' shot did exactly the same thing. So you do kind of favour the top jaw on those, I think.
1.
But it didn't move offline at all, down towards the pocket.
Yeah, shake of the head from Astley. He knows that was an opportunity to, at the very least, get back into the frame after Williams missed pink, but now a chance for Williams to level up again.
7.
Not much more to do, just another colour to go with this red of high value.
8.
.47 the lead, so he only needs the pink to leave Astley needing a snooker. He won another red as well.
Yeah, if he rolls this in though, I think he'll have half an eye on the fact that he's got to aim to the bottom jaw, not the top jaw. Well, he didn't roll it, but
Mark
even then, I
Williams,
think he did
8.
favour it, and this is how the game can play tricks with your mind. You know, he felt that the ball stayed up to the top jaw, so he's gone low this time, missed it low. So the frame is not over.
.47 Williams lead, 51 left, so one red required. Astley would need 2 snookers. No problem. Always been a specialist with pots like that from distance. One of the all-time great long potters, Williams, without a doubt.
I think they'll give him a bit of confidence because he really was well cued, as you say. It'll be the way to win the frame. And intriguing match, this, just the way it's panned out so far. It's not a cakewalk by any means. It's far from it for Williams. We've still got work to do, even though this is now definitely 2 each.
Mark Williams, 13, and the frame.
No great breaks of consequence in that fourth frame, but it was a sweetly struck edge from distance that did the job for Mark Williams, and for the second time this afternoon, he levels this match at 2 frames all. Perfectly poised, then a best of 7 has become a best of 3 on this opening afternoon here at the Victor Welsh Open. John Astley more than competing right now. Twice he's been in front, but twice Williams has been able to peg him back. So 2 all for the target, of course, for a second round meeting with Sanderson Lamb. Half a chance then for Astley from middle distance. And he cued that just as well as Williams cued the red that clinched in the fourth frame. That was excellent from Astley. It's been a very difficult season for him, just 1 win. That was the International Championship when he beat Jamie Clark in a decider. That's as good as it's got for him, aside from a couple of wins in the short format Championship League at the start of the season. So, coming here to Wales, playing one of the greats of the game, confidence would presumably have been low, but you wouldn't have thought so, given the way he's cued so far. He's competed well, he's potted some good balls, and he's earned this opportunity early in frame 5.
Nine.
Well, that was a big shot, though, wasn't it? In a way, just to get them open. He didn't make much of a fist of it, really, the pot, or positionally getting into that bunch. He didn't inspire confidence in doing so.
Only recently underway on table 2, of course, between Mark Allen and Chow Yu Peng. Meanwhile, Liam Davis leads the battle of the young Welsh talents, 2-0. Davis up against Riley Powell on table 3. Coming up this evening, of course, we have the world champion, Luca Brecel, who's not having the best time of things since lifting the big one at the Crucible last year up against Yang Jun, and that's followed on table 1 by Mark Selby, another player who's not been in the best of form of late, against Yuan Sijun.
1.
Very well cued red. Of course, those two were in the world final, weren't they? Selby and Brissell. It's seems a while ago now, because the form has not been great, as you point out. I have a theory that Luca will be inspired by playing at the Crucible again
6.
this year, the same way that our good friend and colleague Joe Johnson was a shock winner and got to the final the year after. You know, it's not out of the question Luca could do that. Ken Doherty did the same.
He's 53 on the one-year list, Luca Brissell.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? And I mean, he's got no issues with regards to rankings or anything, but I'd like to see him play better. I really like Luca. He's enjoyed the trappings of success. Now it's time to get back to business, I think, with the World Championships on the horizon.
7.
So Astley unable to make the most of the initial chance launched by that excellent long red to this right corner. Williams' turn as he looks to take the lead in this match for the first time.
12.
Well, that could have worked out a lot better, because he played it quite
17.
well. Quite a deft little cannon into them, but unless he's found a plant, I'm not sure anything else is on. Well, that end red might just creep past. I do think it goes. It's not an easy shot unless you're right behind it, though. The other plant he's looking at is not a lot better. Two reds quite a way apart. Not dead in line either. But at least this way he screws down the table in playing it out of harm's way. Bit of a lacklustre performance from Williams so far, isn't it?
17.
One of those, if he could just get over the line and regroup for tomorrow. But then he hasn't done that yet. You know, he's a long way from winning this match, it seems. Shot. He certainly played it, and well, he could. If he didn't want to play a pot here, he could go in behind the black. Wouldn't be any fun to be playing, but at least he's quite a big target.
Mark Williams, 1.
Isn't an easy snooker to hit, perhaps.
Okay, thank you, John. Thank you.
The fact that he was quite close in behind the black, he had to go across twice, and he has missed a snooker this time by a way.
Foul. And a
red
miss
to middle
for
will certainly interest
Mark
Williams here. That is a very good shot to get on the black. Very clever as well, because he's not going to leave anything, and he missed it. But the way he steered that cue ball in behind the black, having potted the red, terrific shot.
Eight. 9.
Well, you just feel that maybe Mark Williams is finally coming to terms with this match. I thought already knocked him was very good, and now it's actually created an opportunity to get to the front. And he hasn't led in this match, and if it's only 3-2, I think that would still feel quite a psychological boost to him in a short match to get
14.
to the front in a match he's not really played well in. Seems to have been battling against the elements so far this afternoon.
Chow Yupeng and Mark Allen in the background there. Allen's taken the opening frame with a break of 66 to lead Chow 1-0. That's on Discovery Plus, table 2.
Yes, that may have gone wrong. It's actually quite similar to the black that Neil Robertson missed earlier on against Jackson Page, which cost him the frame from a long way in front. It was almost like this. And he hasn't missed it, but he hasn't got position either.
Mark Williams, 22.
A bit of a nothing shot there from Williams, but probably was nothing else he could do. Just drop into the red. Handy lead this in this frame. Only 5 points for the 3 times world champion. So for the first time this afternoon, Astley now chasing the match a little bit. He's been calling the shots until now. Well, that's a slight mistake. He thought he could get the cue ball down, but he didn't bargain on a red. Heading in the same direction as the cue ball. Not an easy first ball, but Williams didn't want to leave anything like this, just in case it goes in, and chance to get right back into the frame if it does. Needs help, needs luck. Goodness me, he doesn't want that one back, does he? He'd be more than happy. The pink could have ended up blocking the black pocket, but that didn't happen either, so all results like that gratefully received. So, interesting point of the match again.
8.
With Williams not killing off this 5th frame, and now Astley with this counter-attack.
Nine.
First turn pro back in 2013. Fell off the tour a couple of years later. Got back on in 2016, and then of course was relegated again in 2020 before returning at the beginning of last season, but reasons already
16.
explained, facing a similar scenario as we head towards the climax of this season, needing
17.
points and probably a good run at the World Championship. Of course, there's 10 days of qualifying in order to preserve his professional status.
I suppose he could have played on the red down the cushion
24.
there, but players invariably don't do that with other reds available, but he might not get a better chance to be on it than the one he had there off that black.
25.
Now he's slightly wrong on the blue. Quite straight, he might be able to just force an angle. And it will come down, I think, to that red, which he needs prime position behind.
30.
What he doesn't want to do is finish low on the black, where he has no shot to get on the red. Oh, I'm not sure what he's played there, but he's not
31.
the answer. It is not the answer. I wonder if he played to knock the pink out, did he? Really not sure. I think he only had to roll it in and finish top side of the black, and it's problem solved. All the angles here. Oh, it's a great effort. This is a really good effort. Very fine shot. Doesn't want to be straight.
38.
And lo and behold, he's got a very slight angle, that's all. Played a good shot, though.
Calamity
John
with the
Astley,
double kiss.
38.
Looks as though Williams can clip this red in.
Quite amazing that he left the red on in a way, wasn't it? With the cue ball going into that left corner and the red. But somehow the red became potable, which seemed far-fetched, I think, in running. He didn't know what to do on the red. He didn't, neither one thing nor the other. He could have rolled it in and he wouldn't have missed it, I don't think.
4.
Played it full-bloodedly, but he was somewhere in between.
Six.
So Williams just needs green, brown and blue to hit the front for the first time.
Yeah, and if he wins this frame
9.
in this manner, I think it's a big boost for Williams and a quite body blow for Astley, because he really had a chance to win it himself, as we saw just then.
And he played that terrific
13.
positional shot, going round the houses off the black for the red, but unfortunately for Astley, not only did he miss the red, but that double kiss left it for Williams. Could easily have got away with it, he didn't. And it's cost him the frame.
18. '24.
So on an afternoon where last year's runner-up Sean Murphy has already bowed out, Mark Williams looking to avoid a similar fate, and he's now in front, 1 up with 2 to play at 3-2 up.
I'm waiting for the cue, Mark, OK.
John Astley back in the arena and has now got to win the last 2 frames to avoid another first-round exit this season. He's only won 1 match outside of the Championship League.
OK, thank you.
Throughout the whole
6th
campaign.
frame.
And he's
Mark
played some pretty
Williams
good
to
stuff
break.
this afternoon, but he still finds himself 1 down with 2 to play against the 2 times Welsh Open champion, Mark Williams. Williams breaking off then in the frame he hopes will carry him to victory. That was not a great break-off, though. He'll do well not to leave this red. Is there space for Astley to get through to it? If not, Williams has been a bit fortunate. So though he can get through.
One. Six. Seven.
Into the reds, didn't quite connect as he wanted though, and positionally it's not worked
9.
out.
Yeah, he didn't quite hit the target, did he? It's obviously the reds he was trying to hit as opposed to top end of the pink ball. So clearly the balls aren't going to spread. The cue ball's not gone where he wanted it to either, as you see. So just when he needed to fight back with something big, it wasn't quite there.
John Astley, 9.
He's had a few chances, John Astley, and he made that half-century in frame 1, but not since has he really made anything that's going to hurt Williams. So while he's competed hard in this match, he's not quite putting the points together. I think the cue was on its way as well. He always used to say when I was playing,
John Astley.
what great cueing that is. It's no consolation though, is it, when both balls go in? Oh, wonderful cueing, they say. 2 straight pots going in, the red and the cue ball. It looked nice, but not if you're Mark Williams.
Three 0 now to Liam Davis over Riley Powell on table 3. Break of 60, the highlight from Davis in frame 2. 3 up with 4 to play. Another chance for Williams.
1. Leo, the TV's gone.
Well, he's pushed the only red that was open. onto a cushion.
8. Mark Williams 8, gents, there's a slight problem with the screen. I don't know if you'd like to wait, they're going to try and fix it. It's collapsed, okay. Neil.
Yeah, there's a slight issue with the screen we're hearing from John Palou.
Shut down.
It's not nice sometimes being a referee, is it? You've got lots of other things to think about, but replacing the balls, putting up the scores, the screen's gone off.
Are you still there, says the screen. Well, yeah,
We
most
are.
definitely.
We're all ready to go again, aren't we? But there's no play.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time this season that we've had a few technical issues with the scoring.
It's back on the TV. It's on the back of the TV, just press OK. No. Yeah.
I'm just looking up on YouTube at the Welsh Open a few years ago, the Harlem Shake, which was something that John Palou was heavily involved in. Okay, dance crazes, he was giving it the big one. I'm going to put it on my Twitter in a minute. You can have a look yourself. There he is. Look at the great man, John Palou. He sorted it all out. Never in doubt.
Still 1-0 Mark Allen on table 2, although Chow Yu-peng has a chance to steal that frame on the colours. To level at 1 each.
Okay, thank you, John.
Got to go some, hasn't it? It's nowhere
Foul
near.
and a miss. 4.
Ill-directed
Mark
and short
Williams.
of pace. And he's left a comfortable red on, I think. There's quite a serious error from John Astley, who seems his chance might be wilting slightly in this match. Didn't want to leave Williams this opportunity so soon in frame 6. He led 1-0 and 2-1. Chances have come and gone. Now, Williams is getting the upper hand.
Eight.
Yes, the moment at the back end of the
9.
previous frame when Astley just had a sniff at pinching frame 5 for a 3-2 lead himself. Missed the red along the top rail, but in the process left it for Williams, somewhat unluckily really. Williams punished him by mopping up the colours. Now potentially in to win the match. Chow Yu-peng has taken that second frame, so
16.
1-1 on table 2 between Chow and Mark Allen. Winner of this plays Sanderson Lam in the round of 64. This evening, Luca Brissell against Yang Jun and Mark Selby against Yuan Si-jun on table 1. Kyron Wilson plays Ashley Carty. Ali Carter plays Elliot Slesser on table 2 this evening.
Seventeen.
Not got a great angle here. It's going to stun it off the cushion and back up. And he didn't want to go too far, or else that red that's close to the pink spot would not be available to the right middle, but I think he is. So the last shot was
24.
quite well controlled. Didn't look much, but it was a good shot.
$25.
Now he can go into the bunch, or probably in favour of that, he would take the red by the pink. Because it will still leave the problem of getting the bunch open. So there are his options here.
Just the one break of real substance so far from
30.
Williams, 72 in the second frame, but as usual, even when he's not firing
31.
on all cylinders, he's just so adept at winning the tight frames, the frames that are in the balance. Good long pot here, telling safety there. Just so much ring craft for Williams.
I think he probably deserved a better shot than that. He might be on one red to the right corner of those.
38.
We can just see perhaps enough to get to the potting angle, but it's not a straightforward shot. But he couldn't have gone into the bunch any better. Got a little deft shot here, up for the blue.
39.
Might end up taking the pink. And you get the feeling if this next shot on his colour to red works out, then this match is as good as over, and it will depend on this shot alone, I think. Yes, I mean, it was not an easy match for him, because Astley was good early.
45.
Williams was struggling a little bit. One or two little nudges went against the Welshman, but it looks like he's going to come out of the other side of it okay. Be disappointed if he wasn't to get the match won here.
46.
Golden chance. Did play up on the blue there. He didn't really want to be playing this shot on the green, although you expect him to get it all the same. Well, there you go. It's an amazing game, isn't it?
Mark Williams.
He didn't want to be playing
46.
that shot. Did not want to be playing that shot at all. He wanted to be right behind the blue, and all of a sudden there was a bit more on that green than he really wanted.
Surprising. Williams, normally very adept at killing off matches with an opportunity like that. It wasn't to be, so a chance I'm sure John Astley wasn't expecting to keep this match alive. Nothing particularly safe.
Yeah, absolutely, Philip. I can't believe that he's got the chance, and I should think he feels exactly the same. And now that he has got this chance, he really has to mop up and take us to a decider from it. There's no going back from here, I don't think. Dig into the cue ball to avoid the two reds. He wants to come around off two cushions here. Oh, goodness me.
John Astley,
well,
1.
I thought it was over last time, but I'd be absolutely amazed if it's not over this time. Didn't get very close to that.
One.
Not clean, but it's gone in to leave Williams 45 in front, 43 left, so this black to make sure.
And by no means vintage Mark Williams, but you're in the tournament and the chance to turn it around. Astley had his opportunities.
8.
Williams, of course, could be a real threat this week, but he'll probably need to raise his game. I'm sure he'll be the first to accept that.
In the early stages of these Home Nations events, over the best of 7 frames, it's about getting the
16.
win. Giving yourself the chance to improve in the rounds ahead, and that's what Mark Williams has done. Not entirely convincing today from Williams, but he's got the job done nonetheless. And a quarter of a century after he won his second Welsh Open title, he remains on track for a hat-trick. He's seen off John Astley from a couple of times behind in the match to come through by 4 frames to 2.